we do a thing. This your Husker knowledge. So we have 5 trivia questions. You have pens, you have pads, and the winners will receive packages sponsored by Omaha World Herald and McInnes Roofing and Sheet Metal. Now, Omaha Steaks also in the goodie bag business. So 5 questions. Rashawn will read the questions, and let's see. Okay, just tell me, who's the smartest Husker fan in here? Who's really number one? Like, don't be shy. Like, I need to know who we're giving the prizes to before we give them out. So nobody here knows Husker trivia. Is that what you're telling me? I found the one room in the history of Nebraska that doesn't have any trivia buffs. Wait a minute. Like, come on. Like, you are a broadcaster, for crying out loud. How is that even possible? Okay. So fair enough. Captain, if you would start this for us, please.
All right. You got 10 seconds to answer each question, so make sure you move on fast. I'm not messing around.
No cheating.
No cheating.
No
okay?
Googling on your phone.
My guy Dave McInnes is in the building, so he's going to be watching from 500,000 feet. Is that possible? Is there 500,000? All right. Here we go. No cell phones. Put them down.
Put them down.
No,
Honor
no cell
code.
phones.
Honor code.
All right. No cell phones. All right. Here we go. First question. Click. Which former NFL quarterback brought Central Florida into Memorial Stadium and scored 24 points in a 38-24 loss? Ooh.
That's okay.
Good question.
That's a good one. We get tougher.
That's easy. That's an easy.
That's a layup.
It's really easy.
There's only one quarterback in the history of Central. There's
easy.
2, right? They've only had 2 in like 108 years.
All right. No, y'all ready? That's longer than 10 seconds. I'm trying to help you out a little bit.
There we go.
McInnes Roofing sheet number 2. Nebraska beat Tennessee in the Orange Bowl to split the national title. Which Big Ten team? Who wrote these questions?
Where's the easy button? Where's the easy button? Just hit it on your table.
Sam.
And if you get this wrong, take off your ring. Take it off and leave the room. Give back your food. Like, all of that is important.
All right, here we go. Number 3. The McInnes Roofing sheet metal question number 3. Coach Osborne won his 250th game, 69-7 over which rival? That's so easy.
Is that not one of the 10 greatest days in history? Look at Sam, just feeling like Santa in September.
Sam.
Like, he's just giving away prizes.
Just giving them away. Everybody, you get a prize. You get a prize. You get a prize. Straight Oprah Winfrey on that thing.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. McInnes Roofing sheet metal question number 4. Which Husker defensive end won the Lombardi Award at the end of the 1997 season?
Sam.
So hard.
Sam.
Man, you guys hurry up because everybody in the room getting ready to win today.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room, Omaha State. Where's Dave at? Dave, raise your hand. I'm sorry, Dave. Everybody winning today, though. Everybody winning today, Dave. All right, here we go. Number 5. My McInnes Roofing sheet metal question number 5. Matt Davison, the Miracle Boy, caught the flea flicker, but who inadvertently kicked the ball to him? Great question, Sam. Not too many people know this one. Sam, you saved the best for last, right? Thank you. They scrambling that right now, DP.
It's one of the 5 most replayed plays in the history of Nebraska football. Like, if you've ever watched Nebraska football, like, one of the first 5 videos you see.
Who knows the answer?
Is this play
over here? Anybody know the answer over here? Okay, you got to whisper it to me though. Don't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, but see, you a Packer. I know you know already. Don't say it so loud. We gotta do this. Okay, so now, all right,
this is what we'll do. So have your cards, if you can pick your cards up and hold them up, and the young ladies from McInnes will come by and collect them all for you.
All right? And we're gonna give the answers. We're gonna give the answers.
We got to give them now. Like, okay.
We're gonna give the answers. Okay, don't honor code, right? Honor code. We'll give the answer. So let's go back to number 1. Let's go back to McInnes Roofing sheet metal question number 1.
Central Florida quarterback, 38-24.
Who is it?
Dante Culpepper.
Too easy. Dante
Wonderful.
Culpepper. Who got it wrong? Let's see.
Yeah, that's the part. That's
Who
what
got it
real.
wrong?
Oh,
A couple guys.
oh,
okay.
you have to give your
All right.
name.
That's fair.
You have to give your
That's fair.
name. No. Rashawn, let's
No,
go. No. We have to
no.
know him.
No.
We have
Who
to know
is
him.
it? Who is
We
it?
have to know him.
No.
You are now my favorite person in the entire room, the room's most interesting man.
You had to be there. To
You
know
didn't
Dante
know Dante
Culpepper.
Culpepper. You are immediately my best friend. Like you have stories to tell. Wonderful.
All right. The McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal question number 2. Answer. Michigan. We all knew it. Who got that wrong?
Yeah, after
Nobody.
oh, ma'am. Ma'am.
They'll hold it again. They're not from Nebraska, DP. See,
Okay.
There
okay.
you go.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with
Okay.
you on that.
Fair.
All right.
Everybody, hug her. Hug her. She needs Nebraska hugs. Yes.
All right. Big Red Brunch, McKinnis Roofing Sheet Pedal. Answer number 3. Oklahoma. Who got that wrong? You were not the
You
game.
did not.
This is the table right here. We need all the help over here at Liberty First right
Who
now.
sent you, sir? Who sent you?
All right, here we go.
Jay Foreman. There he is. The one guy. There he is. We were looking for him. There he is. Oh my goodness.
All right. The McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Answer number 4. Grant Wistrom. Whoa,
Oh, the
wow.
Groans.
What in the
Groans.
world?
Steve Warren. They did.
Isn't this 97 up here?
Steve Warren. Tell them who Grant Wistrom is. One of the greatest of all time.
Calm down.
Fair
calm
enough.
down.
Fair enough.
Put that in there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, here we go. Last one. McKinnis Roofing and Sheet Metal. Answer number 5. Chevy Wiggins.
Give me the
How many got
hand.
that right? How
Who
many
got it right? Who got it
'Cause
right?
that was a tough
There
one.
it is.
Okay, there we go.
There it
go.
is.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You. I feel better now. I feel better now.
Okay, so are we still doing the raffles, right? For the tickets.
Yes. Come on. Who's doing the raffle?
Who's giving out these tickets?
No, so take the raffle ticket off of your card. And what were we doing the football? Are we doing the tickets to the game? Tickets to this Saturday's game. Who does not have tickets currently to Saturday?
Oh, wow, right there.
2 people.
Boom,
3,
boom.
3, 4, 5,
5, 6,
6. Okay.
7.
Only you can win. Only whoever wins this needs to find one of the 10, barter, work it out. I'm sure there's some trade involved. Work it out.
All right, need the tickets.
Get your tickets out.
Tickets out.
Who's drawing the number? Sherry.
Them people.
Sherry's drawing the number. Yeah, it's a Saturday game. There we go.
All right.
By the way, while we're doing this, this stunning woman here standing next to Rashawn and the other stunning woman far to the room wearing a wonderful blazer in red are the 2 women who are responsible for this event going off as smoothly and as wonderfully as they have. Can we give an ovation to Ava Thomas and Sherry Dickmeyer? Thank you for what they do. Folks from the Omaha World Herald.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you've done. And by the way, if you have not bought your tickets for the next couple of events, get them. The offensive explosion, we're literally flying in Irving Fryer and Mike Rozier to come hang out with us for 2 hours in a couple of weeks. If you don't have your tickets, get them. And it's a great season's worth. Okay, Rashawn, you got a number for me?
I do. I've got a number. I'm going to give you the last 8,300. Where you at? 8300. That's the last 4.
8300.
224-8300.
8300.
No? Oh,
Right up front.
You got tickets to the game already?
Right up front.
I'm just playing.
Well, you got 10 friends in the room. You've got 10 best friends in the room who do not have tickets. Thank you, Rashawn. Thank you as we do this. Okay, so we'll get through some of this. We've got help coming. That's spectacular. All right, so let's get into the question and answer, the interview phase of this thing, because there's so many stories that made the 97 season what it was. One, it being the last season that Coach Tom Osborne ever coached. Jay, if you would please, take us through finding out that Coach Osborne, this was going to be his final season.
I don't know. I don't think we found out till right before the bowl game?
At the meeting.
Yeah, I think some of the offensive players knew probably before us defensive players.
We did.
Last informed. Yeah.
We did.
But before we get into the question and answer, you got to give it up to a couple former teammates in here, Chris Brown and Brandon Riley.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Give it.
Right.
Where y'all at? Stand up.
Stand up.
Come on. That's one of the most prolific kickers in Nebraska history right there. We don't. How many kicks did you miss in your career, Chris? Oh, so it can be done. Okay, I'll just making sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I found out going to practice and, I didn't really know the dynamics of why he was retiring. And then until we got a little bit older, but, we were just, tremendously inspired to get back to the championship because we felt like in 96, we let it slip, and we had a chance to do something that has never been done before. It still hasn't we'll see Georgia can do it this year. Didn't really change our preparation, but practices were definitely a lot more physical before we got on that plane to go down to Miami. But we definitely were motivated by Coach Osborne retiring. What do you think, Steve? This is listen, Steve over here. I remember when he was a little dude coming in. Hey, he came in from Kickapoo, Missouri. Hey, my man Steve, you know how they have like the little pictures and stuff? My man had the biggest pads ever. If you guys, all the older people, if you remember Jack Lambert with them big old pads, Steve Warren, I said, who is this brother coming in here looking like Beetlejuice with these big old pads, And but let me tell you something about Steve, man. I love him to death. He's a good dude. You can say I used to say young dude, but we both old. We gray hairs is upon us. But he came in as a freshman and literally turned it out. And as an older guy, being a junior, you always see what freshmen get it. Steve got it, and he actually made 97. An easier year to win because he had to. First of all, he had to be in the meetings with McBride and Jason Peter. Knew he was tough then. But I always like to bust him up a little. I don't get to see him enough, but I always had to tell people that because I remember seeing Steve coming there from Kickapoo, Missouri.
Yeah,
My
right.
man.
Good old Springfield.
Yeah.
You made me forget the question now.
When did you find out that Coach Osborne was going to leave us hanging?
I found out when they said there was a press conference.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything until we went to the press conference. And I just remember seeing grown men break down and cry. Like that was the first time I really seen just like a room full of men just cry, just weep, just cry. So it was rough, but he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, let me ask you two this. We'll start with VJ. VJ about to take over, but all right. Let me ask you this, to be honest now.
I'm up here filling in.
Let me ask you this, to be honest. And then were you sad, mad, or did you feel like joy that Coach Oz, not joy that he was leaving, but you feel like okay, he decided to move on to do something else when you heard about it? Were you let down? Were you like?
Well, I've been around since '93, so I know what he's been through and over those years. So to get another championship or have a chance to play for another one, to me, I was a senior. And I get to go out with the legend. It was perfect. I was glad to see him, 25 years of coaching, you don't know what it takes a toll on your body. And then Coach would always talk about Nancy, you know what I mean? And I think, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in like the early 90s, he had a heart problem, 89, 90, somewhere in there, he had a heart issue. And so, I think it's a lot of stress, but I was glad to see the young man go ahead and go out on his own terms and go out and win her. 60-3 in 5 years, and that last 5 years of his career,
What about you,
probably
Steve?
won't be done again.
Were you? I mean, he just had recruited you. He just came all the way down to Kickapoo.
Steve was crying.
Got you in there,
I was
probably that in there.
crying.
I was crushed. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd only been there for a year and a half.
Right.
So I was expecting to have my whole 4 years with him. So to see him go so early, but you got to understand it's important. Like he said, the job is stressful. They've got families that they took a lot of time from. So we understood that he had to do what he had to do, but it was tough.
Yeah, I think the reason why I asked is just because I think it was the when VJ said it, or when you said everybody was breaking down, I think it was a array of emotions. I was mad. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, you told me you was gonna coach me for 5 years. You gone? I'm just starting to get started. You know what I mean? But then the Coach McBride was like, yeah, it's time, and kind of settled us down a little bit. So I want to ask you guys, just so everybody can know, especially from an offensive perspective and a defensive perspective. Everybody's hype about the defense right now. Steve, give your thoughts on the 3-3-5, number one, and thoughts of what the defense can do to maybe pull a little bit more weight like we always did. Because VJ, listen, before I even let Steve, like Tommy Frazier and all that dude, hey, they get all the presses, but we didn't win because of them. We won because of champions. I mean, because defense was winning it, giving them the ball all the time, and they definitely get all the accolades. But now, Steve, go ahead and answer first.
Thank you.
Because the defense needs to come first.
We set the tone. That's right. So for me, defensively, I like what they've looked like the first two games. I think the one thing they can do differently is, if they can do more, is create turnovers. I think that's the one thing that we haven't seen is them go out and be ball hawks and create fumbles and intercept the ball. But I've liked what they've done the first two games, and they've been put in tough situations. Like we all know that. Like it's no secret with the fumbles and the turnovers. They've been put in tough situations. So I'm surprised at how fast it's kind of come along, but it's a long season, and depth is going to play a part at some point. And I don't know what the backups look like, but those first guys that have been in there these first two games look pretty good to me.
VJ, what do you think everybody knows where you're at offensively right now, but obviously being in the season, things can change and get better, right? Because you can't sit there, okay, let's see how we can make this worse. So in your opinion, in your experience, both as a former player and watching it with an astute eye, and then also being down on the field, what are a couple things they can do that are controllable to kind of change the outcome of the offensive output?
Run the ball. Run with the fullback. Pass to the tight end.
Oh, come on now. See.
Just told you.
You had to put the tight end in.
Run the ball with somebody other than Jeff Sims. Pass to the tight end. Bootleg, get Jeff Sims outside the pocket so if he has to run, he can see it and go. And we have to limit the turnovers. I mean, it's really simple. Play disciplined football. Nebraska was built on disciplined football. And if we play disciplined football, we win games. If you don't, you lose games, and then you talk about how you lost so many one-score games and we're close. And we don't want to hear close anymore. For me, offense is about an attitude. It's about running the ball. And to me, you've got Northern Illinois coming in. I think we need to let them know who we are and who we used to be. And if you talk about going back to the old school, we ran the ball and we ran it very, very effectively. So that's what I like to see us do, and I think we'll be all happy at the end of that.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think there's no leeway to do anything that Jeff Sims doesn't do 100% with confidence. So if you got to get him outside the pocket 20 times, get him outside the pocket 20 times. If something's working, run it. I don't care if you got to run it 5 different ways, just keep running it. And then I think that'll make your defense better. Then obviously everybody will be happy, so forth. And so then it'll be another problem, right? That's the way it usually goes. Steve, I want to ask you, well, first of all, Steve's awful humble. He runs Warren Academy, he's been a big influence on sending kids to all across America, the different schools, and obviously Nebraska. Some, like Easton Stick, didn't get the look, and Cole Payton, but Steve has obviously been an advocate for kids, so I want to give him props. Steve is heavily involved in all the development of the quarterbacks, in your program. I want to ask you from your perspective, because you see a lot, playing against guys. Number one, what are some of the things Harburg brings to the table potentially? And number two, from your perspective, even though you're a defense player, we do know offense because that's how we used to stop Rashawn all the
That's
time.
a lie.
What can Jeff Sims do or don't do to be better in the passing game? Because you teach concepts, get guys ready to play, so you know a little bit more than obviously the average former player about these guys built inside and out.
I think for Harburg he's a good athlete. Like, he's a phenomenal athlete. So I think for him, it's honestly, he's kind of like the white version of Sims. Like, athletically, his passing ability, they're both about the same. They both got strong arms. Accuracy could be a little better for both of them, but they're both tremendous athletes. So I think what VJ was talking about is run the ball, for one, that protects the quarterback. And then the second thing is get them out of the pocket, move the point from where they're throwing the ball from, and let them be athletes, right? Don't make it so difficult where they're having to read, the whole field. Maybe take it like a high school thing and just give them half the field. You read this, and if it ain't there, run. Like, if it's not there, just run. Use your athletic ability. But I think those guys, they'll be okay eventually if they can just take care of the ball. They got to find somebody to manage the game first. And I think if we just start managing the game on offense, defensively, we're strong enough that hopefully if they can start making turnovers and creating turnovers, we'll be okay.
VJ, what do you think? Give us your, I guess, PG-13 view, top-down view of where the football program is right now.
Did you say PG-13?
Yes. We listen. We're on Facebook Live and all types of social media platforms.
Well,
I can't speak for Steve and everybody else. I would rather not go viral because of Rashawn Jackson on a Thursday, beautiful Thursday morning, decides to go off kilter. So
no, I'm not.
Yeah, give us your top. Give us your top down, big view of the program, where it's at, and where you think it could go with Matt Rule.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're headed in the right direction. I can say all the right things up here and do all that stuff. And for me, it's not any more talking. I don't really care about what I say or what they say. The proof is on Saturday and what they do on that football field, what they do in the practice fields. That's the proof for me. I don't really care about the talk anymore. I've heard a lot of talking, and I just want to see proof in the pudding. I want to see Jeff Sims go out there and not throw picks. I want to see us go out there and actually run the ball. We talked about a fullback. I want to see the fullback get a 32 dive, a 34 dive, a 48 dive, a 41 dive, just one fullback dive. You know what I mean? Because you want to be the hammer and not the nail on offense, right? I mean, a lot of times, if you're a pass first offense, and Deion is sometimes is coming when they play a tougher team, it's coming. But when you're a pass first offense, you are doing nothing but catching the defense. When you are a run first, or you making a sense to run the ball, now you become the hammer, not the nail. You start hitting people, you start chopping people, you start knocking people down. Before you know it, the second quarter rolls around. These guys don't want to play anymore. They don't want to come anymore because they got to think. They got big old VJ, and VJ is not, he's a black shirt on defense, on offense. Did I say it right? You said it right.
I don't know.
Okay, black shirt on offense. I said it right. I'm an honorary member. Because you need, no, seriously, you need somebody that is not afraid to get in somebody's face, not afraid to hit them and mix it up. That's Nebraska football. We didn't take no shorts. I didn't care if you was white, black, green, blue. You're on offense or defense, special teams. We would hit you in the mouth and then ask you how you wanted the next play. Okay? And so when we get back to that, smash mouth football, I think we'll get back to understanding who we were as Nebraska football players.
I worry about you sometimes.
Yeah, I know. He had to. We had about to cut his mic, but I
mean, Jay, here's the beauty. I mean, and a reminder to folks: when he says throw the ball to the tight end and use the fullback and run the dive, Rashawn played fullback and tight end, so there's kind of a reason why he leans so heavily that way. Before we get too far forward, I want to go back and ask each of them. In a special season that was 97, there's several moments, and everybody has their own moment that comes to their head about that championship season. I want to ask each of you to go, we'll go up and down the line, to tell me your favorite moment about the 97 season, whether it was a game, a score. I know Jay's going to say the interception, but that's okay. He's 100% allowed. Yeah. But go up and let the fans hear. Describe the 97 season, those special moments from your vantage. What was your favorite moment? Vershawn?
Well, you go with them youngsters first.
You're the captain.
We know you're going to eat up all the time. And I mean, come on, player. Just get
when you think about 97 season, for me, I was there from 1993. So we had been to Miami 4 years out of the 5. We had just, beat Florida. And we were coming off the 96 season. So 97 was special, one for me because my mom passed going into that season in the summertime. And, that season was just special because not just because I was a captain, but I had been around these guys at that point now for 4 years. And so when you talk about a brotherhood, we were a real live brotherhood. And we always felt like we were going to win the game in any of the games. I think that the special moment was Missouri game, because the lights were out, the water was coming on, the lights were going out. It looked like we were going to lose that game from every perspective, and just like the premature Colorado team coming out on the field, Missouri did the same thing and came back out on the field, even though we had some time left on the clock. And so to persevere through that game, I knew, I didn't care what kind of miracle it was. I knew if we scored a touchdown, we were going to win this game. And so for me, and we were going to win the championship after that, because that game, I think, was the toughest game of the entire year. So Missouri game, winning that game, and then going on to win the championship.
I'll piggyback off that. The Missouri game for me too, just because, one, I'm from Missouri. So when they ran on the field early, a bunch of my high school teammates came and found me and were cheering like they had won the game. And I was like, get your asses off the field. Like, the game's not over yet. So that was a special moment. I still see those guys now, and we go back, we laugh about that. But that game, for a few different reasons, it was a tough game. I honestly didn't get to play as much in that game in the fourth quarter as I would have liked to. But I just remember how physical it was, how much fun it was. Me and Coach McBride had a good conversation after that game, and I thought it was one of my better games, and he actually apologized, which never happened. Yeah, right. Never. He apologized for me not playing as much in that game because I did play a pretty good game, but that was a special game for me.
Yeah, I think for me, the most special thing was probably in the off season, spring ball and winter conditioning and summer. And it kind of leads into that game because, look, we knew who the quarterback was, and he had to replace Tommy and and all that stuff. And we were upset. We had to go down and play in the Orange Bowl against Virginia Tech. And everybody was kind of, I know from a defensive perspective, we was always looking at Scott and see if you're going to be a better teammate and a better player. And he actually did. So that gave us even more energy going into the offseason. But I remember one workout when we were running them stadium stairs. Remember that?
Unfortunately.
And everybody was calling Earl, and Jason and Grant was like, it's going to pay off for us, right? And, we went to Washington and beat the brakes off of them. And so we're going into overtime against Missouri, and they've been kind of, to be honest with you, was his dude named Kobe? Corby Jones.
Yeah, Corby Jones, Missouri. Yeah,
man, he looked like he was a man on a mission. He was Cam Newton motivated. Before Cam Newton. He was killing us that day.
Jay, real quick, they ran our offense against us.
Right.
Right. That's why it was killing us.
Yeah. Hold on. But VJ, y'all were fumbling like always. But so we were playing with a short field and all that stuff, and then but we right before overtime, McBride came and he was trying to talk to us or whatever. And Jason and Grant was like, "You need to get the hell out of here." First of all, they don't only two that ever could talk, only two guys that could talk to McBride like that.
That was it.
That was it. We knew it was over. We shut them down pretty good, and then obviously we were running off the field, and I saw Joe McAvica, and he was like, "We're gonna do this, and it's not to win the next week. We're gonna win a national championship." So I mean, it's a big part in Nebraska, in that season. But I think it started in the offseason. I mean, because VJ quiet is kept. I'm gonna be honest with you now. Everybody need to be. We're in the circle of trust here. Before the 96 season and 97 in the summer, I mean, you talk about having to start practices over. I mean, we put in work on VJ and them to the point Coach Osborne sent them back into the locker room, come back out, and they finally stepped up. So I'm proud of you guys, VJ. I'm 97. You held it.
They made some plays. They finally made the plays.
Just a second.
Listen, man.
How many yards did we average on the ground?
I don't know, but VJ, you guys were. I mean, that's because
399 yards on the ground in 1997.
Look, when
that's
you guys
pretty good,
just
right?
get beat up all the time, you guys are just like it's easy pickings of going out against those dudes, man. I mean, to be honest with you, me and Steve sitting up here is the bigger part of winning 97.
What?
Of
That's right. Throw the bone.
I never got to tell you this, VJ.
That's why I was a captain, because I can deal with these dudes.
VJ, I mean,
right? I can deal with these guys.
See, because VJ, when we came in as
they
freshmen,
pick on me now because I picked on them before and helped them how to
they
be
did.
tough.
VJ was the guy that welcomed us in, picked on us. But you know what, VJ? Now that we're all grown, man, we got gray hair. We've been through it. Me and Steve, I can speak for Steve. We're proud of you, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we just want to give you a big old bear hug that you finally picked it up and helped us win a national championship.
Wow.
I just never got to tell anybody this. I hope this goes viral.
You've been holding that for 30 years.
Exactly. I've been
Thanks.
seeing VJ all
now's
the time.
the time you want to tell everybody.
I want to tell everybody I'm extremely proud of VJ and that offense for finally pulling your weight. All right. I love you guys, VJ. The rings means so much more to me because we all were actually playing. And I could look down in that locker, because VJ be in the locker room, man, going around trying to check everybody's pulse and stuff. But see, it's changed in 97 because we could look down there and see, VJ's ready to play today. No, I'm just playing. Well, I had to give my man VJ, though. I mean, to be honest with you, 97 I think it's a team. I want your guys.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
One of the best teams ever. 97 seems like it's just a throw-in, but when you look at 97, say compared to 94, 97 is probably a little bit better than 94. What you guys think?
I think it's the whole Michigan thing and the share that takes a little bit of the luster away. But as far as a team for team, pound for pound goes, like a championship's a championship. I'm still gonna wear my ring regardless.
Nobody talks about Michigan, man. Nobody cares about Michigan. Let's be honest. I mean, everybody out here, like when they think about 97 nobody mentions Michigan unless Charles Woodson gets on TV and says it. You know what I mean?
I don't even know who was on the team besides him. And
was
Brady on that team?
He wasn't even starting in.
Yeah, that's right.
For me, when you think about, ask me a question again.
97 versus 94. What team? Now, mind you, you on.
I know. That's why I'm asking you to ask me the question.
Like my mom says,
I'm gathering my thoughts.
I'm
Just
letting you know before you answer.
Again.
You are on the internet, as my mom says.
Okay,
so you're on the internet.
Go. PG-13.
What team is better, in your opinion, VJ? 97 versus 94.
97. Why? Here's why. How many championships you got?
3.
How many you got, Steve?
Just the one.
Okay. I got 3 as well. So I came in 93, you came in 94. By the time we got to 97, we were older, wiser, bigger, faster, stronger. We had a senior leading. Our team was led by seniors.
Right,
I mean, you go to that defense. How many seniors was on that defense? 6, 7 starting.
Yeah.
You go to the offense, the entire offensive line. Matter of fact, the starting 7 were all seniors. You're talking Eric Anderson. How long would Eric Anderson play at Nebraska? For 4 years?
Yeah.
He was there. He redshirted our freshman year, then he played. So you're talking Aaron Taylor, Outland Trophy winner. You're talking Josh Heskew. You're talking Matt Hoskinson, the best 6-man, interchangeable, could play guard, center, guard again. You're talking Freddie Pollock, the pride of Creighton Prep. He was there, 5th-year senior. Myself, 5th-year senior. Tim Carpenter, 5th-year senior. Eric Crouch, or not Eric Crouch, but Scott Frost was a senior. So you had seniors. Amon Green had been there for 4 years, or going on this 3 years.
Yeah.
But he had played as a true freshman. So at that point, you were a red shirt junior.
Right.
You were a red shirt sophomore, right?
True
Freshman.
sophomore.
Well, you was a
True
great boy.
sophomore.
Boy, Big
Yeah.
Steve
True
Hughes.
sophomore.
Hey, sidebar. Can I have a sidebar real quick, DP? Steve, can we get an A selection?
I knew he was gonna do this.
What do you do?
Hey, so
I
you
knew
think?
he was gonna do this.
yeah, Steve. Seriously though, I love Steve.
We'll do it
right?
at the end.
We'll do it at the end, but Steve can go. But anyway, I better give it to DP.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
sir, King, leader. Come on. Go on and give him one.
Oh, right now.
Go on and give it to him, Steve.
Oh, you want me to do it right now?
Go on and give it to
You
him.
got, and Steve, this, you know what this is? This is like
Yeah.
the club about to close, and you're gonna be singing them on the way home, baby.
I gotta think of something. Oh,
Before you got the thing about Steve that's good, because we used to always make the freshmen get up and do stuff, you know, or Steve, he could sing. He got up there. We're like, man, you need to get out, man. You too good, you know. So we couldn't make fun of Steve too much. You could blow a little bit.
I'm gonna do a song that one of my good friends, Carlos Polk. This is the only thing that comes to mind right now. He used to always make me do. He made me do it at his wedding, as a matter of fact. At the so this is just a song, and then all the guys. Shevin loves this song too. So, don't give me a mansion on top of a hill. Don't give me a ring with a shallow thrill, but just give me a savior. My life he can hold. I'd rather have Jesus than silver and gold. That's all I got right now.
Y'all better come on. Y'all better come. Y'all better get. Look. Y'all better come on. Y'all better come on. There's zero chance.
So let me just say this.
Oh,
19, what was that, 97? It had to be 97. We're at the bowl game. And I've always had a camera, and I'm you know, but Steve, I caught him in the elevator. And I said, Steve, give me a selection just like that. Guess what song he sung? The same one. Man, Steve. I love when Steve sings, man. I'm telling you right now. Steve, they should let you sing the national anthem at the Michigan game. It might work.
it might help him. It might help him. As the as the narrator for this, I have the responsibility. Of course, Rashawn is sitting in. So Amon Green was scheduled and was going to appear and was on his way. He had an issue at his house and had to have somebody emergency come out and take care of it. He thought they would be out of the door by 9:30. Then he thought 10:30, and then he thought he would be here by 11:30. I was just messaged that he won't be able to get here because his problem is still not solved. I will guarantee the folks that specifically messaged Sherry and Ava and said, "Hey, Amon is why we're coming." Amon will be at previous at events coming, but I will do something for those folks. Amon is generous. We will have him sign some stuff for the people that showed today. So our apologies for him. He feels terrible. I gave up my phone so that it wouldn't be ringing while I was up here, and the message was just passed along. So I want to say that. To this group in leadership, you're fully vested in this program. You have scars. You left skin in stadiums all over the country. As it currently stands, I'll start with Jay. If you could go in and walk in the locker room today and say something to this team in honor of the program, in honor of all of these fans, because that's who we're speaking for and why it matters, what would you say to today's team?
PG-13.
Yeah, speaking of PG-13, I guess I would just ask them, and to sacrifice some more. I think, I could speak for everybody in here that played. I think we gave up a tremendous amount of sacrifice. I think that's why we were good, and we actually care about each other. Like Chris and Brandon, I'm happy to see him. It's made my day. And and if you don't know me, I'm not a very emotional person, but I'm glad to see these guys. And so I would demand more from them in a very non-PG-13 way. But it wouldn't be a demeaning way, is because I know they can play better. I was down there, helping out for 2 years. I know a lot of those guys, and they want to do better, right? But then, you work hard to get to this point to start the season. Now you got to work even harder. And so that's what I would, be a little bit more demanding. I mean, being friends and stuff like that and all the, hunky-dory stuff doesn't really work. I mean, I never was friends with Coach McBride when I played, let alone Coach Osborne. I didn't want to talk to him. I mean, I loved him. But I have a better relationship with both of them right now as an older, retired player. So, I would just be very, more demanding, because and it's not because, in a bad way. I know they can give a little bit more.
I think I would tell them to, shut off the outside noise. First of all, like, nothing we say, nothing you guys say matters. Like, they have to figure it out for themselves. So I would tell them, just let all that go. Like, I think sometimes you watch them play and they look like they're worried about what the result of the game is going to be. And you can't play that way. You just got to go out and play and make things happen. So I would tell them just to go out and, let loose. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But don't dwell on it, because I think they think about the losses by 1 point and the late losses, and it comes back and it bites them in the end. But they got to let that go at some point. Like, they've been through it the last 3 or 4 years, a lot of those guys, but at some point, you got to say forget about it and just go play ball.
I think I would tell them about the ABCs of football and the ABCs of life. Attitude, if you were here last time, attitude, belief, commitment. So when I say attitude, when I say A, you say attitude. A. Oh, see, that's the terrible attitude. Terrible. When I say A, you say attitude. A. It's a little bit better. Now, when I say B, you say believe. B. When I say C, you say commitment. C. C. A. B. C. That's what I would do. And I would say you have to have the right attitude to come to practice, to lay it on the line at practice. That's what we did with 150 miles an hour. You have to believe in the person next to you. Like, when they were out on the field, I wasn't sitting down. I was cheering for Steve. I was cheering for Jay. I was saying pass. I was saying ball. I was trying to help them and give them my energy instead of me sitting over there on the pine and then letting them play. I want to be out there with them. I want to be physically and mentally engaged in the game with them on defense. And then committed. Are you committed to the process? Are they committed to making sure that they hold on to the ball? Did they make that commitment over this last week to go and hang on to the ball, do drills? That's going to work on hanging on to the ball. So it's just the ABCs of life and the ABCs of football. One more time. A. That's not good. A. B. C.
See, this is why he has that. Can you flash that wonderful thing there? I kind of dig that. Kind of dig that. Can I ask you three to identify somebody on this year's roster that you enjoy watching? Jay, is there somebody on this year's roster that excites you to the point where you go, okay, this is a guy I can get behind?
I mean, I like the way the defense is playing, but I guess I would say, because he's new, I would probably, say Camlin Hart, for a young kid to come in, much like Steve did, and make an impact, it's refreshing, because it looks like, he's playing for the right reasons, and, back to your question, DP, one of the things I think I would tell the team, really, to be honest with you, is just be where your cleats are. And that's just in life, right? You can't go back after I get beat for a touchdown and worry about it. You got to keep moving forward and be where your cleats are next play. If they take that mentality, that's where you're taking the edge off, because you're always moving forward. But Cam Linhart has been impressive. I mean, he's a pretty mature 18-year-old kid to come in and be one of top 2 or 3 defensive players they got already.
I like the Singleton kid. I think he's been headhunting. I've liked what I've seen from him in the first 2 games. Like he gets there with an attitude when he comes to lay the wood. So I like the Singleton kid. Of course, I've got kids out there that we train, Bullock and Fedoni. So I always cheer for our guys that are on the field doing things. Jalen Lloyd, hopefully he gets a chance here pretty soon. But the Singleton kid, I've really enjoyed watching him play.
I like Bryce Benhart. I think the first 2 years he struggled, and I mean I think it's because he was so big. But now I think he's getting the weight underneath him, and in order to be successful on offense, you got to start with the offensive line. So we only go if that big joker get going. And could you imagine a guy 6'9", 320 falling on top of you? I mean, maybe 3 at the third time. You don't want to deal with that anymore. So I think it starts with the offensive line. So Bryce Benhart for me.
A couple of things, and we're about to send Rashawn into the crowd. We're going to take two questions from folks out here. But before we do that, I want to ask them all before we let you go, Rashawn. I know how you get antsy and you need to move around. To describe to this crowd, to people listening and watching, to today's Husker, what does it mean to be a Husker?
We all say Husker power, right? But who truly knows what Husker power is? Raise your hand. Somebody. Nobody knows what Husker power is? Husker. You guys know what Husker power is. You should anyway, but here, let me tell you what it is. And guys, if this is not what Husker power is, please, Chris Brown, tell me. Husker power is the ability to go 150 miles an hour after you get tired. I can't give it to you any better than that. To go 150 miles an hour after you get tired, period. And when I think about what we did, Coach Osborne came after we won the 97 championship, and he said this to us seniors. He said, you guys don't know what you did, but 30 years from now, you will. And here it is, 30 years from now, I'm like, Coach Osborne was right again. So it's because the camaraderie, how we did things, was not just because the coach told us to, but because you had Jay, you had Steve, you had me, you had Amon, you had Scott, you had Jay Foreman, or not Jay Foreman, but you had Grant Wistrom. You had so many different guys that held you accountable, that was playing with you. So you didn't want to not just let the coaches down. You didn't want to let your brothers down. And so until we got to definitely get back to that, but that's what it is to me.
For me, it's family. Like I've got a ton of brothers now that I went through this thing with, that only we know really what it's like to be in that locker room, to be cussed out by Coach McBride. Only we know what that's like. So it's all about family for me. Like, and these guys, VJ and Jay, like these are guys that raised me from a young age. So now when I see them, they are like big brothers to me, because when I got here, I was young. I didn't know anything. So they taught me the first things I needed to know about being a Husker, about being a student athlete, about, what it means to play for this team and in this community. And then I've got an extended family now of people in this community that have embraced me because I do play for Nebraska. And so everywhere I go, for me, it's about a family. So I just want to make sure that, they're representing the family the right way.
Yeah, I'm along the line with Steve. I mean, I can't speak for Steve, but being, coming from out of state, you kind of, came because, I came because we were winning,
Right.
and, really from Minnesota, I was like, oh, we're going at least somewhere Florida at the end of the year, because they were always going to Orange Bowl.
Oh, you didn't come because you love Nebraska.
I know. Hey, listen, man. I was coming because you guys were going to warm weather and we were winning. I was trying to just ride the wave. But once I got here, I really, I found out, what it meant. And, for me, it was being a Husker is like, it's a validate that I made the right choice. Got lifelong friends in a place that I love to live. And so I feel like I'm a Nebraskan. So, I mean, really being a Husker is just trying to represent the right way because of everything that Nebraska's, not giving me, but, afforded me the opportunity to, be a part of. And granted, the championships are great, but the relationships that I was able to forge with people that I probably would have never even thought of, or been friends with if I would.
You looked at me kind of weird when you did that.
Hey, VJ, listen. Before we get done, VJ ended up as a tight end, and he'll talk about how he got to the tight end. Here's how he really got to tight end. Okay, Steve would tell you Chris was there, Brandon wasn't there.
Steve wasn't there.
I wasn't there yet.
Yeah, that's
I heard
right.
the stories,
But
though.
this is the real. This is how VJ became a tight end. This is the honest to God truth. He was a fullback when I got here. Okay, I was a safety linebacker, and Coach Osborne seen me tearing off into him and Tim Carpenter like no other. And he said to Ron Brown, he's like, man, Coach Sola said, man, we can't have him in here. We got this little dude from Minnesota and can't bust a grape tearing our fullbacks up. Send him over to tight end. That's how he became a tight end.
See, I always bring the receipts. First of all, I was on scout team 93 and 94 getting hit by the real black shirts when he was a backup. Yellow shirt. You never saw me.
Right.
You never got a chance to deal with me.
I tore VJ.
No, you didn't. You might have got with Chris Brown when Chris was playing running back or something. But you had no part to me. But that says a lot though. We would have some of the craziest battles in practice where Coach Osborne would be sending us up the steps because we got the fighting. But after it was all over, we were still brothers. We would still go eat in the cafeteria. And we have some battles now where I really don't like him. I like Woo Woo because he can sing. I like Steve because he can sing. But the black shirt in him, but Jay, I do not like him, y'all. I just don't.
So now you all will understand what my dad's like. And then you add Amon and Carricker and Aaron Davis and Steve Taylor, and it's all day. It's all day. It's just a grown frat house, and I'm the caretaker to keep it there. So if you have a question for these gentlemen, I'm going to send Rashawn out into the crowd. Raise your hand. Rashawn will sprint to the table. Steve, give him your microphone if you would, and Rashawn will make his way around. If you have a question, right here up front, Rashawn.
I got you.
Right here, first question for these gentlemen. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Tyrus Bolton. I work for Cobalt Credit Union, branch manager. Hello, everybody. Go Big Red. I like to think that year Nebraska sports was at its peak. That year, I believe you guys were supposed to play UNO. Why did that fall off? Do you think you guys would have potentially played against them? How do you think that would have compared? Because I think to my knowledge, that was like a big conversation, UNO versus Nebraska football. UNO won a national title. Nebraska won a national title. Do you guys think you would have handled them the right way?
Yeah, I didn't. That's news to me. I didn't even know. I didn't know we were supposed to play UNO. That'd have been fun though. It would have been like the volleyball game, right? It'd been a nice little formality or whatever. They had a good program back then. Right, VJ?
Nothing fun about kicking your little brother in the face. Stop it. Stop it. It would never happen, okay? Maybe a scrimmage, but that would not have looked good at all. I'm telling you, it wouldn't look good.
You got another question for Rashawn. Anybody right there? He's hustle up. That's spectacular. See the look on his face like, no, we wouldn't do that at all.
Morning, guys. Doug Carlson, live here in Omaha, and always been a Big Red fan no matter where I've lived. But just have a question for you, especially Steve, because you work with a lot of these young kids today. We always hear the stories about how they're different than the age that you were, and I'm a generation behind you. If we played. We didn't move around. We didn't have the NIL money. You didn't get the NIL money. Like I told the guys at the table, if you got a ham sandwich, you had to report it. So I'm just curious what you think these kids with the portal and everything, they move around. There's just no matter what sport it is. So thank you.
I think from the kid standpoint, it's opportunity, right? Like we can't really blame them for what the game field they have to play on, right? They're just doing what they know is best, and everybody's trying to navigate the NIL and the portal and trying to figure out. I feel bad for the coaches, like, because they're the ones that really have to go through and figure this thing out. But I think for me, if I'm a coach, I'm looking for guys that care about NFL at this level. not NIL, right? Like that stuff takes care of itself. If you're a dude, if you can play and you can make it to the next level and play in the NFL, the NIL stuff's going to come. Like somebody's going to want you to represent their brand. But I wouldn't know I wouldn't really say I'll sound old if I say these kids are so much different than us, right? But they're really not that much different than us. It's just the game has changed so much. Like everything outside of the game has changed so much. And we probably wouldn't have been too much different if we had NIL. I know I would have been trying to get the bag too. If you would have told me like, hey, you're gonna pay me $150,000 this year to play ball, like I'm talking to those people too. Like I can't blame them for that opportunity. And you never know where these kids are coming from either, like what their home life is or anything else. So yeah, there's love of the game, but there's also love of my family and taking care of people if I got the opportunity to do it.
We have time for one more question before we announce the winners of the trivia contest. Any questions at all? Back here. Okay, we're going to trust. Oh, so you're smart. That's why you're the leader. Go
My name's
short.
Bill White. I heard back in the day the Peters boys got all the notoriety, but I heard there was an I-back that was the biggest badass, Clinton Childs. You guys know anything about that?
Oh yeah, he still is.
They
to this
shaking
day.
in their boots right now. Don't say Clinton Childs. Did you see him over there shaking over there? He said Clinton Childs. They both were shaking. I know you were shaking for sure. Mr. Linebacker Jay Foreman, Mr. Retire me and make me go to tight end, please. You say Clinton Childs, you couldn't even answer. Clinton Childs.
I was thinking, hey, Clinton right now. I can tell you if I get stuck in North Omaha, I'm telling him I know Clinton. I can tell you that
You
right
know
now.
I might call him and say, Clinton, get out here now.
I coached with Clinton. Clinton was on our staff, so I didn't play with him, but Clinton, he's still to this day. He's a bad man. That's a bad man.
We have winners. We have winners. Share. Oh, you want to take that one?
Yeah, it's like
Let's get him. Let's get him in.
Quick question. 1997, if there was a playoff, who would have been number 2? Not between Nebraska and Michigan, but between Michigan, Tennessee, or Michigan, Missouri, somebody like that. Who do you think would have been number 2?
Yeah, I'll probably, you know what, to be honest with you, I'll probably say I think Tennessee would have got Michigan because Washington State pretty much had the game and Tennessee had Peyton Manning with all those receivers. I think Tennessee would have got them, but they still couldn't get us though.
I don't know. I think I like Michigan against Tennessee just because they're going they're going against the teeth of their defense. It is. I am. That's how it works. Black shirt, red shirt. That's what happens. You don't want to put them pads on.
See, this is
You don't
this
want
is-
to put them pads on.
This is okay.
No, because they'll be like, that's Nebraska football right there
And
for
the
Sean
Sean-
Jackson. Why you ain't out there showing us what you can do?
Okay. So this is now it's time for Uncle DP to step in and between you two. Calm down. We're family. We need to get through without any tables turned over or chairs. Time to give away some prizes. We have winners. And I just full disclosure, Sherry just handed me these. The first name on the top, the winner, let's go. You can give the mini helmet. Okay, so the mini helmet goes to John Krychek.
Go
Right
Big
there.
John.
Get on up here. Brought to you by the folks from McKinnis. We want to thank them for what they do. Come on up and get yours. Oh, see, this is not even fair. Okay. The winner of this Husker Trivia prize, this is the signed football. This is glorious. You're also my new best friend. Thank you again, the folks from McKinnis. Dirk Houston. Dirk Houston. Dirk Houston. Well done. Omaha Steaks. That's a really cool pack. Paula Harris. Paula Harris. Again, we thank the folks from McKinnis. Well done. And then, wow. Hey, this is who I think this is. It says Chris Brown. It says Chris Brown is the winner again. The Husker Trivia presented by McKinnis. We thank the folks from McKinnis, all of our sponsors, for making this glorious thing happen. And again, to beware, I want to speak to this directly. For anybody in here that wants a signed Amon Green photo, we're going to provide it. I haven't talked to him since the last time he told me he was going to be here 11:30. The message was passed along to me, but we will honor it, and then I will make sure that he attends future Big Red brunches. And again, it's quite the lineup. 2 weeks we have the offensive explosion with Irving Fryer, Mike Rozier, Ricky Simmons. It's going to be quite the gig. And as a matter of fact, I would almost guarantee that there'll be some other Huskers in the building. Again, to the folks from Omaha World Herald, thank you. Thank you for Queen work. Great stuff for all of you. I will probably see you Saturday at Memorial Stadium. If you get a chance, stop by 11th and O at the Tickets new location right there on the corner. You can come on in, have coffee, hang out, see the new stadium. But the big thing is this. I like to say three things whenever I speak in public as a tribute to how I live my life in the space that I choose to live it in. I say three things a lot. I say thank you for the opportunity each morning. First thing, for the opportunity, thank you all for coming, giving us your time, your energy, and your space. Two, I say this all the time, love you. The way you show up for Husker Nation, the way you show up for Nebraska, the way you show up for community, the way you show up for these players, and the way the players show up for you. And then finally, at the end of the day, if I made it through, I would say, well done. To you, to you, to you, to you all. Well done for showing up today and creating an event and memories and moments and allowing these young men to shine again and for them to be able to share with you why you love who you love.